V4 to V5 climbing is when you really have to start combining technique and strength. In a previous video, I walked through 3 techniques that I found really helpful. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 drills to help you develop those techniques and the strength you need to climb V4s and V5s. Let's get into it. Drill number 1 is probably one of my favorite drills, and that is hover hands. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to find 2 to 3 climbs that are 1 to 2 grades below what you're currently climbing. Before you latch your hand onto the hold, you're going to hover it there for 3 to 5 seconds. To be able to hover your hand for 3 to 5 seconds, you have to use things like flagging, drop stepping, and a lot of body tension. So this is going to be something that's going to help you with your footwork and body position a lot. Also, if you want to make this more challenging, try and do more overhang climbs. This will be really intense on the core and body tension the more overhung it is. If you want it to be a little bit easier though, try some slab work where you can really focus on just getting your feet in the right place and then holding on while you hover your hand. Drill number 2 is high-low repeats. You're going to find 2 to 3 climbs that are 1 to 2 grades below your current level, and you're going to climb each of these routes twice. The first time you climb it, you're going to climb them with as high of feet as you can, and then you're going to really practice on getting your hips over those high feet. This activity is going to help you not only build your strength in your legs and your hips, but it's also going to help you with your flexibility. This is something that I really struggle with, so I know I need to focus on this drill more often. And then the second time you do the climb, you're going to be doing the exact opposite. You're going to try and be stretched out as much as possible. Now keep in mind, when you're on overhangs, it's really hard to see your feet if you're stretched out to the max. So maybe try doing this on more overhung climbs. With this practice, you're going to be working on body tension and maintaining your body position while you're stretched out. Oftentimes when you're more stretched out, it's harder to keep your body against the wall. And so that's something that's going to really help with your core, especially your lower back. Drill number 3 is probably my favorite on this list, and it's called project and pump. Essentially, you're going to find a project, a climb that's a little bit above your grade, and it's something that would take you typically an entire climbing session to finish. And then you're also going to find 5 to 15 climbs that are 2 to 3 grades below your current skill level. And for this exercise, you will need a timer, so I just use the one on my watch. It's going to be 15 minutes. You're going to do 15 minutes of projecting and 15 minutes of completing all of those routes that are 2 to 3 grades below you. Let's talk about breaks. With this drill, while you're projecting, you can do breaks like normal. So each try you have on the project, you have your full strength behind you. For the rest of the climbs, in that 15 minutes where you're climbing as many as possible, you're going to do the opposite, no breaks. You can put your hands, re-chalk up, maybe shake out your hands, and then get back on the wall. Quick bonus tip for you guys here. While you're doing your project, if you have a fear of falling or a fear of failure, then you may want to try this exercise. It's a mental training drill, and it comes from Dr. Don McGrath. We actually did a video together about mental training for climbing, so be sure to check my channel for that. And essentially what you're going to do is when you notice yourself afraid or you feel like you just need to jump down because you're not going to make that move, instead focus on the movement that you do need to take. For example, maybe you need to push off a little bit and lose control with that right hand to reach the left hand. And while you're doing this, push out air. A lot of times, for me, this usually is a kind of movement. You may hear, or you can go all Adam Andra on this. This is something that you can do to really help you overcome that fear of falling or perhaps that fear of failure. So if you're noticing there's a move that you're just afraid to try, then try and do this. It's going to be super helpful for you, and really focus on just getting the movement. Breathe and go. This is going to help you train mentally so you can be better the next time you go climbing or the next time you're on this project. Drill number 4 is a hard one, and it's the 100 boulder drill. Yeah, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm about to say. You're going to climb 100 boulders in 100 minutes. This is going to be super endurance based, and it's going to teach you to be as efficient as possible on the wall. The reason I've included it in this video is because your endurance is going to be something that can make or break when you are doing hard moves after hard move after hard move. And for me, my endurance was a huge limiting factor. Honestly, it still is quite the limiting factor for for me. And so it's something that I do need to practice, and you'll probably get a lot of benefit from it as well. Now the trick here is you can climb as easy or as hard routes as you'd like. So if you want this to be more difficult, then climb harder routes. If you're feeling exhausted and maybe sick to your stomach, first off, maybe you should go home, but if you're gonna stay and train, maybe do some V0s, do some V1s. And you can repeat routes. So if you find a route that's really easy, maybe every 10 climbs, come back to it and climb that one again. And hopefully by the end of the climbing session, you will have that climb down so well that you can do it with your eyes closed. Drill number 5 is lock-offs. And if you watched the video I mentioned previously about the techniques you need for V4 and V5 climbing, then you know that lock-offs are a super important technique that you need to be able to make maybe a little bit higher reach or just a little bit more power behind what you have. Now in that video, I did do a quick review of what this drill is, but in case you didn't watch it, here it is. You're gonna find 2 to 3 routes that are 1 to 2 grades below your current skill level, and you're going to climb each route by locking off between each hand movement. Now ideally when you lock off, you are locking off in a position that helps you get closer to the next hold, but I understand as you get tired, maybe just pulling in towards your chest is the easiest way. So here's the steps. Move your feet, lock off, move your hands. Not only is this going to develop your lock-off technique, it's also going to build your muscles in a way that's going to be super helpful in so many scenarios. Since I've done this lock-off drill quite a few times, I've seen significant gains in my shoulders, so you're probably going to see some gains like that as well. Plus, I think it's way better than doing pull-ups training. As much as hanging from a bar is fun, it's not that fun. But climbing's fun, so here's how you can get that pulling training in. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Not only will that help me, but it will also help YouTube know what kind of videos you like, so it can feed you other kind of YouTubers that talk about climbing drills and climbing techniques like I do. Also, I would love to get in the comments, what are your thoughts on recovering from climbing? What do you do after a session so that you can feel stronger, be stronger, and be ready for the next climbing session? I look forward to hearing your responses. Thank you so much for watching and enjoy climbing.